Welcome to the Panic Button, everybody. I'm Nina.
I'm Jessie. So today we're reacting to a channel called Dark Discoveries, and the title of the video is Lillytino, the trans TikToker everybody hates.
Who are not just amazing creators, but also amazing people. Unfortunately, Lillytino doesn't belong in either of those categories. Lily, who is now 32, first started uploading to TikTok in November of 2022, where she documented her transition from a biological man to a transgender woman. Her transformation was met with tons of positive feedback. So happy for you, honey. This is beautiful. This made me tear up. You're stunning, Lily. This made me cry. Love to see you being yourself and seeing you for who you are. Following the success of her first viral post, Lily would start posting content about being misgendered in public.
She, her. Yeah, it's okay, it's all good. Yeah, just leave water starts at, okay. Yeah, I'm not sorry.
Not everyone bought Lily's story, however, as Kimberly pointed out that the waitstaff would always apologize immediately and meant no harm by it, while another user noticed that Lily's entire content strategy seemed to be recording herself getting misgendered for the sole purpose of online attention. When called sir by some teenagers passing by, Lily's face lights up immediately, as if the boys had fallen into a trap.
Is it a 10 out of 10, sir? I am voted.
Oh, would you like to show your faces?
Yes.
Okay. First off, you called me sir, right?
Oh, I meant to say man.
Oh, no, oh, okay. No, okay.
What are your pronouns?
She, her.
She, her.
What's your name?
Following the incident, Lily informed her server about her interaction, admitting there's nothing the restaurant could have done.
Just so you know, some teens just walked by and were harassing me. There's nothing you could have done, but I just want to let you know. They started calling me sir, and,
Why? Why would you tell the restaurant that strangers that have nothing to do with the restaurant misgendered you?
One, to tell the waitstaff is to say, I had a negative experience at your restaurant, therefore you should discount my meal. Even though it wasn't you and you couldn't have done anything, you could do something now, right? Number two, it's because Lillytino is live right now and is re-mentioning it to try and get attention from the audience. It's a twofold trick. Cheap food, attention.
That's so pathetic.
But can you tell me I'm wrong?
No, you're not wrong. It just seems gross and icky.
Yeah, it's not a good thing to do.
Like, I'm gonna complain to the waitress about a stranger misgendering me.
I'm gonna break my leg, then get mad at the doctor for not instantly asking if they can fix it.
That just makes no sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
What a tard.
Huh. But there's nothing anyone can do. Like, the waiter didn't sit there and go, sir, you know what I mean? Like,
somehow the waitress is responsible for the people on the street walking by.
right. Because you chose outdoor seating.
Right. Because you chose. Isn't that so typical?
No one
I
ever
did something, so you're at fault because I did something.
No one ever goes, we're putting you outside. They either say, oh, we only have outside seating, is that okay? Or, would you like to sit outside today?
Al fresco.
Like, you chose this.
Yeah.
being really awful. It's nothing you can do. I know, but I just wanted you to know.
Oh, sir, a fly flew from outside of your store and landed next to my glass. I demand you give me new food.
I know there's nothing you can do about it, and it has nothing to do with you, but I wanted you to know.
And I chose outdoor seating, and this fly literally flew out of nowhere, but...
That it happened.
So why exactly did Lily feel the need to tell the staff? The answer is simple. Lily is a Class A narcissist, and soon, you'll see exactly why. Despite objecting to strangers assuming her gender, there seemed to be no issue with her assuming other people's genders. TikTok user Global317 puts it nicely.
The guy who dropped the food off, he called me sir twice in a row.
The guy who dropped my food off, he called me sir.
Lily even went as far as to misgender a rock and roll legend who she knew wouldn't be able to respond since he had been dead for 30 years.
I bet you didn't know that Kurt Cobain was probably trans. Here's why. First off, Kurt wore a lot of women's clothing. And when asked about this, they replied that they wore dresses all the time because they felt comfortable and free.
Lily's hypocrisy.
Okay, this one pissed me off. You're calling Kurt Cobain they? Did you ask him for his pronouns? No, he's dead. Okay, and back in the day, before you were born, punk, underground scenes, guys used to dress out of the norm, edgy, different, to make themselves stand out because they're in a band and they're not mainstream. So how do you go against mainstream? You dress up like Boy George, or you wear a skirt or some shit like that.
He also did a lot of drugs.
He also did a lot of drugs, a lot of them. He was needle sick most of the time, okay? So when you start bringing up dead people and being like, well, this person was trans and this person was trans, that one was non-binary and this one was also trans, it's just retarded and it's factually untrue.
And there's no way to fact check it, so you're putting out false information that no one can, like the person's dead. They can't fight what you're saying, but there's also no proof that you're right.
Exactly. And it's also very insulting.
Yeah, you're putting words in a dead guy's mouth.
That as well, but also you're trying to make yourself feel better. Like Lillytino's trying to make himself feel better by misgendering and transing dead people in order, I liked Kurt Cobain. Okay.
It's a validation.
Yeah. He's trying to validate himself by transing dead people.
Projecting his idea of trans onto other people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which another thing that really drives people crazy about the trans thing, guys like him, is that they don't practice what they preach at all. It's actually the opposite. So
they do what they judge others for.
Exactly.
Like misgendering.
Yeah. And he gets a prize whenever he gets misgendered.
Yay.
What a jackass.
I know.
Lily's hypocrisy was insane. She would intentionally spread false information, like Kurt Cobain being trans, but would also have a public meltdown each time she was unintentionally called sir. In some cases, she wasn't even misgendered at all. Here's Lily's reaction to being called sir on stream. But what did the waiter actually say to her?
Perfect. And now this is mint iced tea, just mint tea, not caffeine.
No sugar in it.
Oh.
Lily somehow hears no sir instead of no sugar when the server explains the tea to Lily, leading to her telling the server her pronouns.
Yeah, it's not a okay. And my pronouns are she, her, just so you know.
And villainizing him to her hundreds of thousands of followers. While one unhappy customer usually isn't the end of the world, it could be if that customer is Lillytino. Take this example, where she labeled a restaurant transphobic simply because they refused her entry.
Why is he dressed up like a child? Oh, I know why. Can't say it on YouTube, but I think we all know why.
Well, and he does OnlyFans, so.
Gross.
Yeah.
When they dress up like little girls, it really is disturbing.
I'm glad I'm blind right now.
Due to a no streaming rule, not because she is trans.
Now we are not at a transphobic restaurant. They said, oh, this is a private property, you can't stream here. And they basically made it clear that I was not black.
She is also not.
Hold on. So because you're not allowed to stream or film in a restaurant, they're transphobic because you're trans.
Because they have a no filming policy. But
it's not personal.
But they're taking it out. But they're using it on a trans person. So if you're using a policy, and the policy just happens to be used on a trans person, now it's transphobic, right?
Okay. So if he drives home from this restaurant and he gets pulled over by a cop,
transphobic because he's trans. Doesn't matter.
Is the ticket transphobic
yes,
as well?
Because he's trans.
And if he goes in front of the judge, is the judge transphobic? Yes,
because he's trans.
So retarded.
Other restaurants' terrible reviews for things that were no fault of their own, like when she left a 1-star review at Panahar, whose food she admitted was good. Her food delivery driver had knocked on her door like she requested, but Lily didn't hear it. According to her, someone could have tampered with the food. Despite this, she ate the food anyway, and later complained to Grubhub, who told her it wasn't their problem, because it wasn't. In response to this, she wrote a review for the restaurant, not Grubhub. Well, if it's not Grubhub's problem, it's your problem. Have a 1-star review. The only thing Lily loved more than herself was power and fame. This was put on full display during the time Lily threatened healthcare workers, posted to Lillytino Snark, a hate page dedicated to her. A few weeks ago, Lily was streaming on Discord and was super excited to get a call to schedule her very first facial feminization consult. Problem is, she never got the call. According to the records, however, they called her 3 times with no answer. Lily claims she didn't get these calls and wasn't having it. She mentions to the customer service worker how she's TikTok famous and going live later to over 150,000 people, and if she doesn't get what she wants, she'll expose them. While threatening healthcare workers was bad enough, Perhaps the worst of Lily's sins were her chronicles in Disneyland, where she spoke loudly and openly about her reproductive organs in the presence of thousands of kids in a spot that was supposed to be the happiest place on earth.
I'm gonna get banned from Disney. I swear, we're about to get banned from Disney. Last summer, I got my cake pops removed, and the plan up until recently was to get my marshmallow wand reconfigured into a marshmallow tunnel. Unfortunately, a few weeks ago, I noticed some hair regrowth on my marshmallow wand. That's bad, because the outside of the wand is what becomes the inside of the tunnel, so you don't want hair growing there, or else it's very uncomfortable.
Of the 7 million people who watched the video, most were not pleased. Fingers crossed, the hair keeps growing. The fact that you can hear the kids right behind you. Why would you talk about such things when surrounded by children?
Okay, we gotta set the scene here. Grown man with mother is in a park which
4 children.
many children go to.
4 children.
4 children. He's surrounded by children, dressed like a child, talking about how he's getting his testicles removed and how his dick shouldn't have hair on it. There's literally kids
In the background.
behind him. This is our world, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we have landed. It's been a bumpy ride. It's still bumpy.
This is why Trump won. Because
Yeah.
no one wants to hear this and not see it get arrested.
You're talking about your penis around
front of children.
dressed like a little girl. With your mom took you to Disney so you could do this. Why? Well, I'm glad this is California and this isn't Florida, because I could see how this would pass in California, but if this happened in Florida,
I don't think DeSantis is down with it.
I don't think so either.
What is wrong with you? These concerns were not isolated to just random TikTok comments, as Lily had turned fellow trans creators against her as well. Trans TikToker Mia Varga called out Lily's inappropriate actions.
You whine and complain when you get misgendered in public, and somehow you think that talking about this in front of children is okay. There is a time and a place for that, not around children. You clearly are holding up a stick and 2 balls, okay? And what irks me the most is that people like you become the face of the trans community, and then we get compared to you guys. We are nothing alike, nothing alike.
While Reddit user
Okay, and unfortunately that trans person is absolutely correct, because when I see a guy dressed like a girl, not even a woman, but a girl, and he looks like that, not even trying to pass it, no matter if he got the facial feminization surgery or not, he still looks like a dude. I'm going to get an idea.
That's what trans people are like.
Exactly. And because there's so many of guys like this out there pretending to be trans, it's making the face of the trans community Lillytino.
Or Lillytino likes. Yeah, anyone who does the same kind of weird shit. And I'm glad that at least that trans woman could speak out and say something. We need more people like that to prove that, like...
Not all of them are like this.
Right. Buck, Blair, that woman, trans woman, but still, you know.
Yeah, there's quite a few level-headed, based in reality trans people out there,
Well,
but they're not the face of the community like Lillytino and
Right.
others are.
And if you don't continue to differentiate yourself, then you're going to end up having Lillytino be the only face that there is. But Blair is a face of the trans community, just not the trans community you think of when you hear trans community. I'd say
like the
that,
Republican trans community,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah, but that's not what you think of. You know what I mean? But is still a figurehead of the LGBT community, just a different section of it. So we need more people to speak out in general to prove that not all of the LGBTQIAs are crazy. The LGBT was a thing, and yes, the T's are not mentally all the way there, but most of them had ease with transition. That's why they got it after medical diagnosis, not because they want to continue to be crazy and get what they want.
If the trans community wants to bounce back from this backlash that's going on, they are going to need to remove themselves away from people like Lillytino, people from the ACLU,
Dylan
people,
Mulvaney.
Yep, him too. People who are pushing for men and women's sports. You got to separate yourselves from that, because if you don't, then there's going to be a continuous backlash. And people are going to call you things that you're not going to agree with, because people like this are representing your community. So I don't know. How do you think that they could bounce back from this backlash? I mean, it's almost like asking the how the Democrats could do it, but not really, because
They'd have to really show that they're not that mentally unwell. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They'd have to show that a majority of people who transition genuinely suffer from gender dysphoria and are relieved of some symptoms.
Okay, you have an answer in that, actually.
What?
What they need to do is to completely reinvent a way to put in barriers and safeguards for transitioning. So guys like that cannot claim to be, I mean, he can claim to be trans, but he's actually
But he's not going to get past the...
He won't be able to get the surgeries, any of that stuff. Yeah, exactly. He'll just be looked at as a cross-dresser.
And he'll be a man in a dress. It's
right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. There used to be safeguards, there used to be a system in place. Wasn't perfect, but it was something, and now there's no system in place and you can just self-ID. So all these weird men just invaded, and now it's like a freak show of people, and you can't tell who's a man with bad intentions and someone who's actually going through something and needs to transition in order to feel better about themselves. There's no system in place. There needs to be a hardcore system, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially since they came after kids. I mean, at that point, your community's going in the toilet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Useful Mechanic questioned if Lily was even trans. Being trans is already a very difficult thing, as I'm sure many of you know. People like Lily really hurt the community. Personally, I won't use the pronouns she, her for Lily, because I do not believe that they are transgender. I believe Lily might be a cross-dresser, and gets off on humiliation. As for the whole cake pop thing, I believe that they did that as a way to fetishize and degrade their masculinity. I can't express how sick Lily makes me feel, and it makes me so upset that they are trying to represent the community this way. If you're wondering if others actually heard Lily discussing her cake pops, the answer is almost certainly yes, if her meals at Epic Steak are any indication. Elizabeth E. had this to say about the matter. Excellent meal, but they allowed content creators to stream live there. I sat outside to enjoy the bridge view, and a streamer was loudly discussing her genitals the whole time. It really ruined the atmosphere for me. I wanted to give it another chance, but this same person was there again, so I went elsewhere. Regular trips to Disneyland
and there's also a problem when you see news stories or articles or things like this where they say her. If you don't know who they're talking about, you're going to think it's a woman. And how often do you see women talking about their genitals out in public?
I think the reason that the person chooses to use the word her is the same reason the person left the review, because it's courteous. It's courteous to not talk about your genitals in public. It's courteous to say that the person in a wig must be a woman. It's not courteous to talk about your balls at lunch.
You're definitely not a woman if you're talking about your penis and your testicles.
I agree. But do you see what this woman's perspective is of courtesy?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's why she's probably calling it her.
Okay. So, when has a woman gone to a restaurant and talked about her genitals on the phone?
Like never.
Yeah, I don't see that being a thing. But in the trans community, apparently it's a thing.
No, just with Lillytino, I think.
Yes.
But the problem is it's so prevalent that other people are going to copy it.
He's such a well-known content creator who is trans that he and Dylan Mulvaney are pretty much the face of the trans movement. Two fake trans people who are just men with two different reasons why they transitioned. One is for popularity and fame, and the other one is for
fetish and
a
fame.
whole bunch of disgusting reasons.
Fetish and fame, so similar reasons.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want him at my restaurant if he was going to stream and talk about his penis and testicles. No,
thanks.
Thank you.
You can go somewhere else and do that. Go to McDonald's, that's where you belong.
Epic Steak are not cheap for anyone, but luckily for Lily, she had loyal fans to help her out. Ever since she blew up on TikTok, Lily had become a full-time content creator and lived off her followers' donations, including a $750 a month Superstar option. Lily also offered one-on-one counseling for other trans individuals, which was actually illegal to do in her state of California. Despite all these sources of income, Lily couldn't afford to pay for her mom's trip to Disneyland, which would be completely understandable if you ignored the fact that Lily lied about it in an attempt to extort more money from her viewers.
Beyond expenses, to be able to do things like go to Disney World and take my mom with me, bring my mom here, and have a great time with her, because we don't get to spend that much time together. You did. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean.
No, we don't know what you mean, Lily, Nick. Because what I'm seeing is you were trying to lie, and your mom decided that lying isn't good.
Your mom was like, I'm going to actually expose you a little bit. This is fun for me. She's like, I paid for it anyways. This shit.
Yeah, I mean, you're a grown man. You're dressed like a child. You're around children, talking about your penis and your balls and shit.
Act
And
like
now
you
you're-
paid for this trip.
I mean, you're already lying about a whole bunch of shit, so I'm not surprised he's lying about more. But come on, you're trying to literally extort your audience by lying to them. I mean, you're no better than the Republican, right?
Not by their standards.
Right? Exactly.
It was as if Lily was a kid who got her hand caught in the cookie jar. Others also seemed to notice Lily's childlike demeanor.
Ooh, bubbles.
No one can tell me this isn't fetishizing dressing like a child. She is an outright pedophile. The Crayola earrings have me fuming. So why exactly would Lily, who wanted the world to view her as a woman, be infantilizing herself? It seemed that Lily, whose main audience comprised of trans women, haters, or a combination of both, now wanted to appeal to a younger demographic.
Hi, friends. Today we're going to talk about something super important. What it means to be transgender. It's a big word, but I promise that it's easy to understand.
I know what it is, but you
Pause
can explain it.
We covered this once. This is Lillytino pretending to be, what is her name? Miss Rachel. Who is a very popular kids show creator, like for like preschool age children.
Even babies.
And that's what Lillytino is up to right now, pretending to be a children educator.
Tried to do the mukbang, right? The talking and streaming and eating thing. Is trying to do the
I think Nick is still doing that.
the counseling.
Probably
Now-
got illegal, got cease and desist.
Yep. Now he's on to the
Copying other people.
trying to talk to children. Mm-hmm. If you had, let's just say you are a teacher for third graders and you're a woman and you dress up like a child and go into school to teach these kids. I think a lot of parents would probably have a problem with that. Just
Probably.
as a regular woman doing it. You're dressing like a child. That's,
I mean, that's what Miss Rachel
Weird.
wears.
that's kind of weird.
I agree, but I guess that's like the point.
If she's doing a character, that's different. But if you're trying to like talk to children and be around children,
I get what your point is.
Miss Rachel, I'm suspicious.
Side-eyeing.
I'm side-eyeing Miss
Miss
Rachel
Rachel.
as well. She's something up with her, by the way. Check her out. You can see. But this is not what children should be listening to. Maybe they need to be learning how to read and do math and not listening about genitals and
Pronouns and
pronouns
bullshit.
and listen.
Marshmallow ones and pops or whatever, cake
Cake pops. Yeah, and listening to a grown man dressed like a child. This is why children are failing, amongst other things. But we need to keep these kind of guys away from kids, man.
Ready to learn?
If you didn't get the reference, let me introduce you to Miss Rachel, a YouTuber who makes content for toddlers and babies.
Hi, friends! Today, I'm visiting the doctor for a checkup. Have you ever been to the doctor?
Lily was attempting to branch out her content to children who had yet to learn to walk, or even understand the difference between boys and girls. The parents in the comments were not pleased. Miss Rachel, but make it a horror film. You did not just do that to Miss Rachel.
I was going to say
That's
something,
your
but that
screen
was
cap
good.
there.
But that was good.
That's your screen cap for the video.
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say because that was so funny. Oh, well.
It's funny.
I lost it.
But make it a horror film. You did not just do that to Miss Rachel. As a mother, I am mortified this is happening. Despite graduating with a college degree, Lily somehow did not understand that even though she now identifies as a woman, she was still biologically born male.
Now he's dressed up like Lucille Ball.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
These are all just costumes.
These are characters.
They're all just costumes.
Well, he's the same character. Yeah, right. Costumes. It's just costumes. It's just disturbing.
Playing dress up like a little kid.
Yeah, but if we're supposed to differentiate between an actual trans person and this, I mean, he's trying to say he's an actual trans person, but
Yeah, but he's just wearing Party City costumes.
yeah, or his mom's clothes. Either way.
I'm pretty sure he's just getting his favorite character's costumes right from Party City.
Oh God.
Someone said I was a guy when I was born. Someone said, oh, yeah, you're a boy. But they weren't right. I was born a girl. So why can't I be biological?
This is some cuckoo cuckoo shit.
If kids are very young and they don't know the difference between boys and girls, how do they know what gender they are? Right?
The doctor tells you. Your mom and dad tell you. Because it's not a... Gender is what you are born as.
You don't need a doctor to tell you if your baby is a boy or a girl. You could just see, and it's like, okay, that's a boy.
Or that's a girl.
Ta-da! You don't even need a doctor.
And
See?
you can say that you were born not feeling like a boy, but you can't say that you were born as a girl if you are born with a penis.
If you didn't feel like a boy, but you were never a girl, then how do you know that you feel like a girl? Like,
I
don't
get what you're saying, yes, but you can still say that feeling like a boy, this is what your gender dysphoria plays in. Feeling like a boy didn't feel right. That doesn't mean you were born as a woman. You were still born as a boy. It didn't feel right to be outwardly performing as a boy. That's what they're saying. They're not saying that they are born as a woman. And that's what Nick is trying to say, which is completely false, because you cannot be trans without first being the opposite gender before transitioning to it.
That would be correct.
Yeah.
I'd be biologically a girl. I'm alive. I was born a girl. But instead of saying biological, because that is a derogatory term with regards to trans women, biological.
Despite graduating with a college degree, Lily somehow did not understand that even though she now identifies as a woman, she was still biologically born male.
Someone said I was a guy when I was born. Someone said, oh, yeah, you're a boy. But they weren't right. I was born a girl. So why can't I be biologically a girl? I'm alive. I was born a girl. But instead of saying biological, because that is a derogatory term with regards to trans women, biological woman is a term we've thrown out. And instead now use the words cisgender and transgender.
Lily's worldview seemed to be very black and white. She was always right, and anyone who opposed her was always wrong. However, it seemed that she valued the white a little more than she valued the black.
Come here, Nugget. No, Nugget is not cold. Nugget just shivers all the time. Nugget. Nugget.
This could have very well been an honest accident, as Lily later claims.
Yes, I know I accidentally said it.
Oh my god. That really, like, every word to these people is derogatory in some way. They'll find any word and make it derogatory if they don't like it because it makes them feel uncomfortable. I don't know. I don't
feel
know.
like cis is derogatory.
Yeah, but
because
they don't give a shit about that.
It doesn't value us as the women we are, and the fact that we haven't changed. If you put cis in front of us, it's assuming that we have changed at some point or in some way. If you're saying trans, it's pretty cut and dry.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I've always said that them trying to change definitions, there's a long-term goal to this whole thing. And it's so they can eventually say, I am a biological female, into which case it completely eradicates what female is. I mean, when you start changing definitions, you're gonna get news stories of a woman committing murder when it's really a dude. You're gonna get Ketanji Brown Jackson's not being able to identify what a woman is or define it because she's not a biologist. We get into cuckoo land where people who are supposed to know better don't, and who are supposed to know the definitions of things don't, all because of dudes like this who want to control the world and everyone in it.
Over their feelings.
Over their feelings. Now, why the f*** would I give a f*** about your feelings? You don't give a shit about mine, right?
Clearly.
So why do I give a shit about yours? Why am I supposed to? There's no logic behind any of that. You are a man who's trying to change definitions so you can make people see you in a way that you are not. That doesn't fly with the normies out here, okay? That doesn't flow very well in the hood either. Maybe in California, not in where normal people are. We don't have time to deal with your crazy shit. We know what a woman is. We know what a man is. We know what a kid is. We know what an adult is. But when these people are trying to change definitions and they're 1% and everyone, like pretty much everyone is following this new rule, it really shows you how fucked up people are.
Oh, yeah.
They are willing to abide by Nick Tino and his delusion and definitional changes.
It's crazy.
But we're going to move on from that.
Not everyone bought her apology, however, as a user in the comments made a great point. So wait, for someone who is so keen on making sure they are called the correct thing and wants to be apologized to for being misgendered, all you can say to the fact that you said the N-word with the hard R is I used the wrong vowel, it was a mistake, and we are gonna move on from that? You could have at least made it clear that you're sorry and apologize instead of pretending that it never happened. You literally get up out of restaurants for being misgendered after people apologize to you. Why don't you move on from that? Despite her critics, Lily did seem to have a couple loyal fans. Used to hate Lily, but after the last few lives, I'm a new fan. Ha ha ha, just kidding.
That was funny.
It's true. Everyone hates Lillytino.
Yeah, that's why the videos that we do on Lillytino do better than our other ones.
You guys love to hate it.
They love to hate Lillytino.
You do. And you love seeing people make fun of the retard.
It's low-hanging fruit, but someone's got to do it.
There's no fruit that's hanging anymore, thank God.
Thank God. Anyway, join our memberships, like and
comment,
subscribe.
subscribe.
Comment below.
Bye.